Good evening.
Hello.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Sorry to keep you waiting. My name's Barry.
And I'm Jay.
And together we are Mitosu Crafts.
Welcome to our channel. We're independent Stampin Up demonstrators based in the UK. So if you live in the UK, France, Germany, Austria, or the Netherlands, you'll be able to purchase current Stampin Up products from our online shop. Do use the current host code, which can be found on our website at mitosocrafts.com to receive a handmade card from us the following month, or any extra gifts if your order qualifies, in the form of free packs of gems, as well as exclusive tutorial bundle designed by the Stampin' Glam Squad design team and the Global Creative Project, which is a PDF and video tutorial. We put out a couple of live streams throughout the week, so if you love to see more card making and papercraft inspiration using Stampin' Up products, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so. You can only add a comment if you're subscribed, so on our live stream. So do subscribe and add a comment to be put into the random draw on our on the cards that we create. So we do the random draw at the beginning and at the end of the live stream, and this one we'll do after the introduction. And we'll say hello to those of you who have come in and said hello already.
Yes.
So we have Connie, hello, Anne, Nola, Seal, Christine, Karen, Judy, Caroline, Marion, Mandy, Amanda, Mary Jose, Sherry, Betty, Sandra BL, Amanda, Valerie,
Vicky,
Linda, Vicky, Bling Bling Crafter. Hello, so thank you so much for joining us.
And a couple of birthdays, I think. So we have got Amanda's daughter's birthday, which I think is Alexis, if I've got
Alexis,
that
yes.
Yes,
Happy
so
birthday.
happy birthday to your daughter, and a big happy birthday to Joshua, Judy's grandson, who is 5 today. So happy birthday,
Happy
Joshua.
birthday, Joshua.
So good. So we're going to do the live draw for this one very shortly, but we're going to be working with the Merriest Moments again this evening, because Jay worked with it on Wednesday to create this one here and created that lovely wreath, and we've had lots of comments asking, is there a video for it? So I'm going to show you how to make the template tonight, and I'll tell you, it's so easy. You're going to be going, why didn't I think of that after? It's a doddle. But I'm going to show you how to make it. See, I've done it. It's a doddle. See, it's only.
See? That's where I get it from.
It's a doddle. Easy peasy. So it's easy. It's a doddle. So yes.
Cool.
I'm going to show you how to make it, and then I'm going to make a card with it. So we're only going to be making one card tonight, probably. Depending on time, I may have two. I did pull over another stamp set. We'll see what happens. But
If not, we do have the second card.
Yeah, if not, we do have some other cards which we can give away. So if we don't make a second card, we still will be giving away a card next Wednesday as well. So still come back and pop a comment down below, because we will be giving one of our older ones, probably one of these ones again. Because I think you've got two of these.
Yes, I did
maybe,
one for
so.
the blog hop, so
Yes.
I can.
Or I will. Cause I'm not going to show you it already, am I? Because I actually have got two of the cards which I'm going to make tonight, so we can give away that one as well. So
why not?
I nearly showed you what you're going to be making then. So good. So I think there's a couple more names
we
popped
have Joanne, Sally, Claire,
in.
Caroline.
Another Linda there as well.
Another
I think.
Linda, Sandra, and Nita, hello, Gian, and Sue.
Good, lovely. So let's move over to the live stream, to the
Random draw.
to the random draw. Wow, another 6 come in this evening between the time. So, and then we're going to crack straight on with tonight's demonstration. So let's move over to that.
Cool. Good luck, everyone. Rosemary, congratulations.
Rosemary, excellent. If you would like, if anyone knows Rosemary, or if you are watching, please message us details on the screen right now, Barry and Jay at MitisuCrafts.com, with your address details. Pop winner in the subject line and today's date, so that'd be the 5th of September. And so it's easy for us to spot with your address and that you're happy to receive the card. And we will pop that in the post to you. It doesn't matter where you live, so if you don't live in the UK, it doesn't matter. We send our cards worldwide. So if you're thinking to yourself, we won't send it to you, we will. So There we go. That card is yours, Rosemarie. So if you would like to win that, please message us. Details on the screen. So, good. Lovely. So let's get this one up and running. Lovely. So yeah, as mentioned, I'm going to be using the Merriest Moments stamp set. Won't be using the die, but we will be using the... No, I won't actually even be using some of that. So I got that out ready for another project, which I was doing for our TNT, actually. I got myself confused. This is purely just stamping this evening, using the amazing Stamparatus with this template, which I've actually made up for this to actually make wreath building and wreath making so simple. So simple, you can use it for pretty much any stamp you want. Because it just helps you with the placement every single time. So you can go freehand with this. You can stamp down, but if you want things to be all uniform, all the correct spacing to look nice and pretty, and yeah, this is something for you which you want to make up. And literally, it will take you a couple of minutes to do. It's really simple. So let's have a little look. Now, originally on my original one, I've done it on some acetate or window sheet, which is this one here. I quite like it on a window sheet because it is thinner, so then the magnets, it still sticks down quite nicely. You don't have to do it on a window sheet. You can use it on a bit of paper as well if you want to. So I might actually do it on a bit of paper for you this evening. I do have some window sheets ready as well, but I'm going to make one up for you now live on camera, and it is easy. So we will do it on cardstock first. So I'm going to be doing it. We'll do it on some normal cardstock, so some normal basic white. So I don't want it to be too thick. I'm just going to grab myself out a normal bit of basic white cardstock. And I'm going to cut this down to 7x7. Now the reason I'm cutting it down to 7x7 is because that is the surface area of our Stamparatus, okay, which is 7x7 inches. So it just made sense to cut it down to, so cut whatever you're using, so a window sheet or a bit of cardstock, down to 7x7 inches. Which is approximately 17.8, but I'm going to be working in all inches in this one here because it is just easier to work in inches. So cut that down 7x7, and then you've got yourself some scrap bits which you can actually, in perfect, that offcut which I've done there is the perfect size for my card which I'm going to be making. Happy accident, isn't it? Or is it because I'm going to be using, I need to actually cut a square out. So no, and then what you need to do is you then need to cut yourself a square out which is 4.5 by 4.5 inches. And this is a part which you're going to be doing some drawing around. So you may not want to do this on something which is going to be nice, because this is going to get damaged. So the sides of it are going to get damaged because we're going to be drawing along the sides. So this is a bit of scrap which you can then maybe do some stamping and die cutting out later on with. So just be aware that this is going to be a bit of a dud piece for you. Alright, so start off with a 7x7 and then cut yourself a piece of 4.5 by 4.5. Now this bit, can it go larger? Not really, because of when it goes in at an angle we don't have much. So the reason I've kept it as a 4.5 by 4.5 is because when we then pop it in at an angle like this, if you can see this, hopefully you can see it there, so we've got it there and we're over at an angle, we haven't got much room to play with either side and top and bottom. So 4.5 and 4.5 is about the biggest you can actually get out of using it with our Stamparatus of the 7x7 platform. Okay, it's fine that way, but we need to rotate it around and actually have it in a diamond shape as well, and that's where we haven't got the room to play with it top and bottom. So 4.5 by 4.5 is your largest. You can kind of get away with this. Okay, now you can either, there's two ways of doing this. You can either just eyeball it, pop it in the middle, okay, and then draw around this, or you can measure it if you want to, and then do your bits. If you want to measure it, it's well, it's not approximately, it is 1 1/4. So we pop a line here and 5 3/4. If you want to make sure it's exactly in the center, and then we'll do 1 1/4 by 5 3/4. So we're popping a mark in there. Going to turn it around, and then I'm going to do 1 1/4 and 5 3/4. So I kind of need to find that crosshair, which we know that is it there, and then that was so that there is our edge. Alright, so you're just going to be popping just lining up, so we're just because when we pop this in, we line that the corners up with the corners like this. Okay, so I'm not sure, I will be putting some stronger lines down at the moment, but I'm just doing this in pencil for you. So let's just, so it's 1 1/4 from the edge, which is there, and then 1 1/4 in from this edge, which is there, and then I'll just connect those like that. So this is the way you do it if you want it to be, exactly perfect. Now, to be honest with you, you can just eyeball this, and I think you will still be exactly fine. Right, so you can see there you've got your part, which then that fits in, even maybe a little bit out actually still, but it gives you an idea. The best thing to do, if you don't want to do it that way, is grab yourself a marker pen. Why do they always go up at the time we're doing our recording? The loudest vehicle's always when you're recording, isn't it? All you do is you pop it in the middle, you grab yourself a marker pen, and you draw around it like so. So this is the easiest way, but if you want it to look all nice and pretty and perfect, then you need to measure it. But that there is all it is. Alright, I'll just rub out my lines. I'll do one on the acetate. Sorry about the wobbles here. I'll do one on the acetate as well.
Do you need me to rub it out so it doesn't wobble?
No, that's fine, because that counts as one, and I'm not taking a point. He's trying. Alright, so that's that one. Whilst I've still got it at 4.5, I'm going to do it on an acetate to show you the difference, so to show you what it's like. Okay. So again, just cut your acetate down to, or window sheet down to 7 by 7, and I will just eyeball this one. So I'm just going to literally just put it where I feel is in the center, and then that way, if you got it on the acetate, if it gets dirty, then it's easy to clean off. It stores itself quite nicely in the Stamparatus all the time. It's not going to get dog-eared. It's going to be fine. So personally, I think an acetate one or a window sheet is probably the better way of doing it. The only thing is that you've got to try and work out. It's a little bit harder to see. So I suppose what I can do. Let me just see. If I put a darker sheet of paper underneath, it might show up a little bit better for you on camera. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better for you. So I'm just going to pop it, eyeball it in the center here, grab my marker pen once again, and then go around this. holding it in place. Okay. So that there is the first line. All right. Then what you want to do is you then just want to then turn this round and find the middle. So to find the middle of your cut of your piece here, we want to just make sure we do find the middle. So half of 7 is 3.5. So I'm just going to pop a mark at 3.5 on all 4 sides. This helps me get the points correct. So there. All right. So I've now found the middle on all four sides. Then what I want to do is I then want to then position this corner with this down here, and then position these with the mark center. Once we're happy with that, then we can then go again and draw around. And there you have your first template. All right, so that is your 4.5 by 4.5 square. What we can do now with this one here is we can then cut this down to what size do I want it to go down to? 3 3/4. So I just want to take off a piece there and a piece there. So we're making ourselves a smaller template now. And then we'd want to then do the same. We then want to then position that. So again, eyeball this so it's roughly in the center, because this is going to be two things. If you're working on one which is a 4x4, you'll be working on the outer line. If you're working on a smaller card base, so 3 and 3/4 by 3 3/4 to give you a 4x4 card base, then you'll be working on a smaller one. So it depends on what card base you're going to be working with. So, and then just eyeball it and then do exactly the same. In like so, draw around it. And if it's slightly off, it doesn't matter, because the Stamparatus, it could be as long as every line is, this doesn't move whilst you're drawing it, but if it's at an slight angle, it doesn't matter. Angle it round again, centralize it up, use those points to get it centralized, or use the outer square to line it up, and then just draw around again. So if you wanted to go even smaller on this, then you would just repeat this on a smaller template. But I'll see, the smaller you go, the stamps are going to have to be smaller as well. Otherwise, you're just going to probably end up stamping a big blob in the middle. So because it's not going to move anywhere. So just be aware of that one. Because it's just, because when we rotate it around, it's just literally not going to really go anywhere. So it's just going to be, so the stamp's going to have to be quite small for it to work. All right, but that there is, so the outer square is for your 4.5 by 4.5, and your inner square is your 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. Did that make sense? Please. Well, why have I got one? Oh, sorry. I think so. I saw, and Barry won. I thought, why have I got one? I got very defensive then, but you're guessing that I got one. I thought, I'm not taking one. I haven't asked for one yet. So I hope did that make sense? If you want me to go through some of that, sugar. If you want me to go through some of that again, I've just lost the feed up here. Hang on a minute.
You ready?
I think so. Yes, no, we're still live. Yeah. Sorry, I swiped the wrong button. So yeah. So please just pop in the comments if you just want me to go through some of those measurements again for you. But that's that. What it may be handy to do if you've got 2 colour markers. So if you do one marker for your 4.5 by 4.5, and then another colour marker for your 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, that may just help you identify it a little bit more. That's right, I don't need it, it's just falling on the floor. Okay, so you can see what I've done with my original one, which is I've used obviously a marker which was a little bit more juicy, so you can see there. And then what I've done is I've just written 4.5 and 4.5 and 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and I've just popped some arrows at the top there just to help me decide, just to make sure I know that's the part which I'm then going to butt up across the top of the Stamparatus, and that's it. That's all you need to do. So just to prove that the one which I have made for you live on camera is going to work, I will use that one right there. So what I need to do is I now need to do some prepping for this. So I'm going to pop my, and I'll say use a marker pen which is a little bit juicier. Ours are on a little bit weak because I used a different pen, but I didn't have it with me and I forgot about it until I saw it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just cut myself some basic white, for this is for the stamping now. So I'm going to cut this down to 4.5 by 4.5. Right, so that was the size of the first square on our grid which we have just made. So that then just lines up, goes in here like so. Lines up with those squares. I'll just pop my magnets down and job's done. Okay, then we want to grab our stamps. Yeah, two colours or something a lot stronger like I did on my first one there, Linda, would work, because this is quite faint for me actually, so I may actually just go over this again with some with another one. So then all you want to do is you then just want to grab your plate, your stamp, pop it down. So if you're using photopolymer, you'll need the rubber, you'll need the foam mat underneath. If you're using the rubber, then you don't need that underneath. Position that one where you want it to be. So we're going to go pretty much in the clock face. So we're going to go at 12, 3, 6 and 9, and then we'll rotate it round, and then we would then go at the same thing, but because we're going to rotate the paper, and that's going to make sense in a second. Alright, so in that goes like that. I'm going to try and get it up as, so I've just centralised that where I need it to be. Obviously if you watched Wednesday's video, you would have seen that Jay doing this. And then what I'm actually going to do, so I've actually got myself some of our stamping spots, because I quite like the stamping spots when using the Stamparatus, and I'm going to be using real red for this one right here. I am going to be using the big ones as well, but because I've got a real red stamping spot, I'm just going to use a real red stamping spot because it's just easier, because I just get a little bit more control when inking this up. You don't get any of that stuff which falls onto the plate, even though if it does go onto the plate, it doesn't really, unless you push too hard, won't go onto the basic white, but it's just easier. Okay, and then we stamp down. Then all we do is we then just rotate this round to the same pattern, like so. So we'll always be stamping at 12 o'clock, but we're just rotating it round. Ink this up again. And then stamp down. And again, if the stamping isn't perfect, it doesn't matter because it's in the same place, ink up again, and then you then just stamp down again. And then turn it round to the next position. And so it's not perfect either. It doesn't matter if it slightly moves. It's not a major issue because but it just helps wreath stamping and wreath making so much easier. And then the final one on this side. Is there. And there is our first part done. I'm just going to clean my stamps. I'm going to be using the chamois for this because again it's easier than trying to pop it on the scrub, because I don't know if you don't want the stamp to move, then this is perfect. You just leave it where it is and then you can then just carry on going, but you can then change your colours in between and you know that everything's going to be in exactly the same position. I'm going to just rotate. This is another thing why I love our Stamparatus, is that you can then just rotate this round. Oh no, actually, sorry, ignore me at the moment. I'm jumping a step ahead because what I need to do is I need to stamp the other flowers. And this is then when you then pop it onto that diagonal one. So you pop it in here like so, and then pop your magnets down. And I'm going to use a different colour. So this time I'm going to be using Fresh Freesia. So you'll now see why, sorry? So you can now see why I think the spots with the Stamparatus are better, because the problem I'm going to get is, you watch, I bet it won't happen now. I did this morning when I was doing my prototype. If you're careful, like that, it doesn't go on the outside here, but then you just stamp that down, and then we just rotate that round to that corner. See, the big pads work fine, but sometimes you can get a little bit dirty. But I'll show you. See, if I push down, you can see there I've got ink. It's now on my plate down here.
Yeah, I think I did that last week.
Can you see the ink is on there? No, I'm not worried about that. I would just ink up. As long as I don't push down too hard here, so that's going to then connect to the paper, it's not a major issue. But I don't get that problem when I'm using the spots. Okay, so it's just one of those things. But the spots, you come uninked, so they come to you naked, and you buy the re-inkers and then you pop whatever colour you're in. Unless these ones, they do sell some spots which have got colours in them. I think, do we still sell those, or are they old ones now? The spots, do we still spots with colours?
It's an inked spots.
No, but do we sell them with colours in them already? I know sometimes the kits used to do it, didn't it?
Paper Pumpkin does.
Paper Pumpkin, I think, has them in it, but
I don't think we do the
no.
one anymore.
So these are an old one, but what you do is you buy them plain, like this. So this is an uninked. This would have been an uninked one, and then all we do is we then buy the re-inker, ink it up with whatever colour we want, and then you've got your collection of spots. Okay. You're determined, Tommy, to sit wherever I've got stuff, aren't you? You clear a space for the cat to sit down, and they then decide they want to sit somewhere else where you've moved the stuff to. It's typical, isn't it? So there we go. That there is the makings of our wreath. Okay. And then what we can then do, you can then go freehand if you want to. So again, if you wanted to, you could always go freehand with this. But if you like things to be a little bit more perfect and look the same and it flows, then this is a great technique for you. So we will keep this in here still. And we will then go in like that. Because this is why I like the Stamparatus, is that you turn this part round and you grab your other stamps out. So I'm going to be using this one right here, and I'm going to position that in the middle like that, there, and then I'm going to just clean this ink off, because what I don't want to do is I don't want to go and get this on my fingers. Oh no, it would help if I did it on the correct size, wouldn't it? just clean that stamp off. I can pick that up there. And then that is in position, and then what I'm going to do is I am going to use garden green, and what's the other colour I'm going to use? I'm going to use soft succulent. So I'm going to be using the small pad, and I'm going to be using a normal size pad. So let's go with the garden green first. So we just ink that one up, and then I'm just going to then pop that in. So that we then just repeat this step like we did the first one on all four edges. And then turn this one round. And this technique will work with any, well, pretty much any stamp, as long as it fits in there and it doesn't look, well, as long as it doesn't look a complete and utter mess and look like a big blob, then it will work quite nicely. But any flowers which you've got in your stash, I think this will work.
Or teddy bears.
Teddy bears, you can do all sorts. There's all sorts which you can do. You can have them
stars,
going round,
leaves.
Yeah. Anything which is the correct size for it. Obviously, if it's a super sized stamp, it's not going to work. Or if it's too piddly, then it may.
Shells.
Then it may be a little bit weird. You can see, and it just makes everything look the same. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I don't even know if I know what I'm trying to say, really. And then
It's uniform.
It's uniformed.
Coffee, chocolate, cookies.
And then we go with the soft succulent again here. So again, large pad, I gently pop this over the top. And then we will then go with that one in the middle. So it's just a grid to help you line this up and to give you a perfect wreath every single time. So over. And the final one. So the last couple of things, what I will do on this one here is I will hand stamp it in because it doesn't need to be uniform. There we go. So let's just clean that. So, and a chamois is I think is a must for if you've got a Stamparatus. It's just a great tool to have with it. And there we have that. So that is how you create a wreath for your cards. What I would do is I will just grab myself, I've got some yam, I will take some orange, I think it is. And I'm just going to take the small stamp. I just now need to find the small block. Where is it? And then I'm just going to stamp up some orange. I'm just going to stamp the center parts here. So I may just do the orange in the reds. And because the spots are felt rather than the foam like they are in the big ones, you also don't push. You've got a tendency not to push in too heavy onto it, which is quite handy. Then I'm going to go with the yellow here, And I'm just going to just pop yellow in the centre of the fresh freesia ones. And that's that one. Okay. So what else can I do, Jay? Because I'm probably going to be finishing on the early. Well, let's see. Thank you so much, Mandy. I've just seen your super chat sticker there. Thank you very much.
I was still way up high.
Jay hasn't got to it yet. Thank you. And we'll pop that in. Then I'm going to take like this little splat because I think it just needs a little bit of detail. So I'm just going to then take this, and I'm going to take one of the neutral colours. So I think this is Sahara Sand, which I have got here. And then all I'm going to do is just add just a little bit of detail and interest into these corners. So I'm just going to kind of go over like this. And then just rotating this round so this doesn't look, I don't really want this to look too perfect, so even though that's exactly the same round, but it doesn't matter. And then I'll just do a couple more. I kind of want to go round the whole, just to add like these little bits of stars. Stars and stop. Oh yeah, there's kind of crosses, stars. So
the classic Stampin' Spots assortment is still available.
Okay.
Thank you, Iniki, for.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes. Okay. So there is the classic Stampin' Spots which are still available, which are pre-inked. So what colours are in those? Is that the?
That is the basic grey, Coastal Cabana, Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Gorgeous Grey, Granny Apple Green, Shaded Spruce, and Real Red.
Lovely. So you get a variety of colours in there.
8.
Yeah. But if you want other colours, then you can buy them. So you can buy them in, I think it's in a packet of 4 or 5, and you can then buy your whatever re-inkers you've got, and then you can then ink them up to your liking. So that's that. So I'm going to stamp the sentiment on last. So the sentiment I'm going to go for on this one is, I'm quite liking this one here at the moment. Together is the merriest place to be. Or I will go, let's just see what this one here.
Of me when doing that?
Thinking of you this festive season, that one might work in there quite nicely. Let's see what that one works like, because I've already got it. Together is the merriest place to be. So let's see when the thinking of you this festive season. So when you're positioning your wreath around as well, also try and bear in mind and think about what type of sentiment you want to go in the middle, because if you've got quite a large sentiment, you're going to need to go quite close to the outside of your cardstock. Otherwise, you're going to, if you come in too close, you're going to make this a smaller hole. So therefore, you're going to need a smaller sentiment. Or if you're wanting a smaller sentiment, that's when you then bring it down to the 3 3/4, so you can actually get yourself a smaller piece. All right, so I'll get that one ready. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my cardstock. So I have got myself some Night of Navy. And I'm going to, so this is a 4.5 by 4.5. So I'm going to, the card base I'm going to do is going to be 5 by 5. So I'm going to cut that down to 5 by 10. And then I would then score that at 5 inches. And I quite enjoy making square cards. They're nice cards to make. All right, and then I'm going to then take some real red. I've got some real red here, and I'm going to then cut this down to 4 and let's go 4 3/4 to start off with. I may go an 1/8 of an inch smaller. I'll see on how big I want my layer to be, because that's going to go on like that. So I may actually, I'm going to take that down to 5/8, 4 5/8. Because I just want a little bit of it peeking out. I don't want too much, so the smaller I go, it's going to peek out like that. Alright, so I've got those parts done, so let's stamp the sentiment. So I'm going to stamp the sentiment because I've used Night of Navy card base. I'm also going to use Night of Navy ink for the sentiment. Okay. And we've had these inked up for years, haven't we, Jay? And they've still, I think these are a couple of years old now. We don't use them that much because I kind of forget to use them, if I'm honest with you. But these have been inked up for a long, long time, and they are still juicy. So don't be scared. I think, well, I say you depending on how you store them and where you keep them. Obviously, they can run the risk of drying out, but ours haven't dried out, and I'm saying we're talking a couple of years these have been inked up. Some of these, especially like these early ones, these are a couple of years old. Alright, so I've done that. It would have helped if I'd actually positioned the stamp correctly on the block, so I'm gonna clean that off, and I'm gonna do that again because I don't want to ruin the card by getting a wonky sentiment. That's better. If I could stand up and I could look over the card, the top of the card, I would have gone ahead with that. But because I got the light in the way, it's a little bit harder for me to get things straight on stamping. And then we're just going to pop this down. You watch, it's going to go up. You overdo it wonky now. And then we were then down in the centre. I think that is wonky.
Yeah.
Hold that in place. And this is why it probably would have been better for me to have done this with the Stamparatus, because even if I wasn't happy with it, then I could have, or if I've missed a bit, I would have gone over it. And that fits in there quite nicely as well, which I think is really, really nice. I quite like using, I always forget to use colours for stamping sentiments. You always go for black. Now again, to anyone, that probably it will dry a little bit lighter as well, but it is obviously, it looks black anyway, but as it dries you will notice it is a very dark blue. When you see it in person, it will be, to the lucky person who's going to win this card, you will see it is going to be a blue. Alright, then all we will do is I will then just pop some glue on the back of this. So we will be using the Merriest Moments stamp for our TNT. So for our all-day retreat, which we've got coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Today is the final day to book in for that for the UK option. So if you would like to join us for that and get the stamp sets and the product kit, which we're going to send out, and the card stock, then today is the final day to book in for it. I'm sure Jay may have put some links up already for our online classes, but there is obviously, there is other online classes as well, which we have got coming up. We've also got Gorgeous Leaves coming up in about a week and a half now. Just over, yeah, bookings for that close very soon, or for the kits close very soon, and we've got the Peaceful Cabin class coming up at the end of the month, which I'm looking forward to the Peaceful Cabin class as well. One, because I've designed it, so. And then, well, I've designed the fancy fold anyway. And then we're just going to pop with some dimensionals. So again, depending on what you're wanting to do for postage, then you may just want to just do it flat if you want to. So I'm just gonna.
Lots of cards. Jeanette says gorgeous, so impressive.
Thank you very much, everyone. So just pop those around there because it's on a larger piece. I'm going to use up a few more dimensionals. So is there any questions at all about how to make the actual template? Did everyone understand that?
Yeah, we're gonna try it. Easy instructions as well. Janice has got a couple of days off. She's gonna try it.
Good. When making it, I would just eyeball it, just as long as it doesn't move. So if you're scared of it moving, whilst you're drawing around it, maybe just use a bit of low-tack tape underneath it just to position it in place. And then let's go that side. And then we can then do that. So all I've just done there is I've just folded and burnished the card because it was easier to do it whilst it's stick this down. And there we have it. There is our card.
Amazing.
So the first card which I made, which was done this morning, was that one right there. So they look very similar to each other because the positioning is in the same area. Even though I took the stamps off from this morning and then repositioned it back on again this evening, you probably could quite easily be forgiven for thinking that they are still exactly the same template. So that's that, and I've got a slightly smaller sentiment on this one here, and you can see as it dries, I don't know whether or not you can see that on camera there, as it dries it looks a little bit blue, so you can see it's a very dark blue. So which then pulls in the colour of the cardstock. So that there is that. So what do you think? Do you like? So good. So I'm just going to see, I can see we've got some comments coming through, so I'm just going to show, that's it, Jay's done it. So good, there we go. So that also works with anything else. So if we've got a little bit of time, I probably won't make up a second card, but I will just show you with another stamp set whilst I've got a bit of time. So if I grab one which is, I grab that one. So it was 3 3/4, so yeah, that's fine, 3 3/4. So if I take a square to 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, bring this in again. I'm just going to change over the stamp sets. So these have all been cleaned now, so these can go back into here. So another one which I think this is going to be good with. So this is this is last year's stamp set now, which again we forget that sometimes there is some carryovers. So Snowflake Wishes from last year. You've got some lovely snowflakes in this. So we just position this in the smaller square like this. It's the same as we did before. Pop your magnets down. Find a stamp which you want to go around. That one, is there a smaller one? Yes, there is a smaller one. So I'm going to go with a smaller stamp on this one. And go in with that one there. Oh, would help if I put it the right way around, wouldn't it? So I just centralise it first, pick it up, and then we will then go with some blues. So I did bring myself over some balmy blue on this one. So I just ink this one up. This balmy blue is actually quite, probably needs re-inking, so hopefully this will be alright. Comes out. Have you re-inked that one recently, Balmy Blue?
Why?
Because it's
This is really dark.
it's darker than I was expecting it to be.
Amazing.
So we just go round and do these, so you can see it works well. With anything. And you can see my positioning isn't always great. I've kind of got it within that square, but it doesn't really matter too much. And then what I'm actually going to do is let's just see. Would a bigger stamp, is a bigger one going to be too big? What do you reckon? Should I go with a bigger one, or should I just go with the same stamp in going around? A bigger one, bigger colour, maybe. Sorry?
There's a delay, so I don't know what the bigger one is.
Oh, we've got a smaller one, so we can go with a different flower, a different snowflake. I'm going to go with a smaller one, I think, whilst I'm getting that set up. I'm going to go with a smaller one, and then I will then go with a... So again, now this doesn't really matter that I'm leaving this in the same position, because I'm using a different stamp on this one, so it's not a major issue, and I've changed the position of the stamp so I can still use the original, still keep it square as I was going round. It's when you're using the same stamp that you then need to then go round onto the diagonal so that you move it, but if you don't want to, sometimes you just want to leave it here and then go backwards and forwards. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with smaller one, yeah. I'm going to try Pacific Point. If I don't like Pacific Point, because it's in exactly the same position, it's not an issue. I will go over it with Knight of Navy, and it should be fine. Swissy. Might be a bit too strong actually, but see, this one isn't planned, so I don't know how this is going to come out, so it may be
I'm fine. Blue sun snowflakes, what could go wrong?
Yeah, maybe I should have just kept them all the same colour, but that's fine. We have, I haven't removed the stamps, so
I think it creates depth.
So you've got your... So it's a bit squarey. Does that make sense? Because of I think the colours make it very, very square on that one. I'm not really sure if I like that. I'm just going to turn that one over for a moment. And I'm going to do it all in one colour. And I'm going to do it all with the same stamp. To see how that works. And the lighter one. And then I can just turn it over and I can pick the best one. So we go down. So you're going to have a go at making this wreath then. please make sure you tag us when you do a picture, because we would love to see what you create with it and your different variations of it as well, because it is very easy. And then we pop it into the corner one. Because this is a lighter ink, we can then use a darker ink when doing the sentiment over the top of it. I think this to me is a little bit more pleasing to the eye. And looks a little bit more circular rather than the other one was a bit boxy. There we have our snowflake wreath like that. Then put that to one side. We will grab a sentiment. So it's the same principle as what we did with the first one. Just grab yourself a sentiment, which we've got here. I like this one because it's got "Thank You so much" on it, which I think snowflake wishes for a Merry Christmas will go over quite nicely over that one. Or another one which would look quite nice on here is, I think, in dark, which I think sits in there a bit better. The larger one would be better on the 4.5 by 4.5. May your season sparkle. Take this off again. I will just clean. Oh, nearly. Just clean this off. And then all I want to do is I can use the same grid if I want to position that where I want it to be. I think that looks straight. And then I grab the Knight of Navy once again. I've got ink everywhere, Jay. I've got ink everywhere. Oopsie. Just be careful when picking that up, because we're going to get inky fingers. That goes over the top like that, so you can keep yourself some really simple Christmas cards here with just your two colours, snowflakes around the outside of it, and May Your Season Sparkle just in the middle, just like that, which is really simple. So good. Let me just pop that in like that for the time being.
Get your names in.
So get your names in, because we're going to be doing the draw very soon. So, I've got some, I may as well just finish this card off. I may as well just do it. So I'll grab some more Knight of Navy here. Because this was 3 3/4, I will then take this to a 4 by 4. So for the UK card options, this is actually quite good, because you'll be able to get 2 4 by 4s out of our card bases, because ours, you can cut them in. You'll need to trim a little bit off the other one. So take that to 4 by 8. Score in half at 4 inches. Which is that one. Fold and burnish. And then that one, really simple card, can then go over that one right here. Alternatively, if you wanted to, you could always just trim this down a little bit more if you want to. But can I get a layer in there? Is a red layer going to be too? Do you reckon I should add a red a very thin red layer around that one, just for a spot of colour, or shall we leave it tonal and keep it blue on blue? Let me know. What do you want? Do you want a red border? I'm getting ready just in case you say yes or no. Just wait for you to catch up now. I will cut it down anyway. So I'm only going to take this to a 1/16 of an inch. Sorry, an 1/8 of an inch bigger. So I'm going to take that to 4 7/8. Sorry, 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. Blue on blue.
Lighter blue. Blue on blue. Blue, blue, lower.
Now you do say silver there, Amanda. I must have knew you were going to say that, because I did actually get the silver out, but I forgot that I'd actually got it here. So which is the silver bits right there. You know what? Oh, I've gone and thrown a spanner in the works now. Do you want some silver in there as well? And then we would then wrap up. Oh, stop it now.
I think bedazzled would look amazing.
You know what? I think it would look amazing as well. Can you? Oh, I'm gonna have to. Oh no, that means I'm gonna have to ask for one. Can I have some bedazzled, please, Jay? Oh, Susan, you're sneaky there. I hope you. Did you guess one?
Have we got any?
We should have some. Switches there. You know what? You can, if I want to, I can make this, because this piece here was a slightly larger piece. Switches 4 1/4. So 4 1/4. So 4 4. That's 8 1/2. Just need to give me a bit of a. So Susan, what did you guess tonight? Did you guess one by any chance?
Sherry guessed one.
So what's
Mine
half?
guessed one.
Oh, done that wrong. So I've just cut myself a slightly bigger card base, which is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So then that just gives me a slightly bigger base, which is that one now. And then we will then take the bedazzled. And so what did we say? Now I've gone with a slightly larger card base. I can go with a slightly, as I'm going to be using this lovely bedazzled, I'm going to go with a slightly larger bedazzled. So I will take that to a 4 by 4. Because it's easier for me to cut down than it is to go. You cut it too small to start off with, and then you have to use another piece. So I'd much rather start off too big and then come over. See, look at that. That's, I forgot about the bedazzled paper, and I forgot that we'd ordered some more, which is why. Oh, That just sparkles. See, may your season sparkle. That's perfect with that sentiment. So yes, so we will. So do you agree with me the fact that I think it looked better that way rather than that one, because I think the darker blue made it too boxy. So which is why I've decided to go with the original, with the second one. So remember, if you want to win the first card which I made, get your the comments which you've been putting in with the live chats, or what we are going to be drawing from. And then if you want to win the second card, which is this one right here, come back and pop a comment in. If you're watching us live, come back and pop a comment in afterwards, or if you are watching this after the live, then just pop a comment down below, and we will pick your name, or we will pick a name. Can't guarantee a pick. I will pick your name. I'll pick one of your names on Wednesday. So who said bedazzled? I've forgotten who it was. Good
Susan.
Idea. Jules in the centre of the snowflakes would look amazing, but Caroline, I'm not going to ask Jay for another thing. Tommy.
That's why I normally have all of the pots on the floor.
So that's that. Yes, so that probably could do some. You could go around and do some more bling on that one there. I may just bling that one up, or shall I ask for two? Oh,
Just add it afterwards.
I will add that one. Oh no, let's add it now. Let's just show it. Let's have some basic rhinestones. There you go. We've got two. Tommy.
Tommy, come on.
I think Tommy's telling me, come on, stop now, I want my cuddles.
Come on, Tommy. Tommy.
That's a good way of using up these gems as well. I don't know, sometimes we're like, do you find you're a little bit stingy with your gems, Gunsel? There we have it. It just needs I may just remove that one and that one. Just left the sticky behind. That's fine. I'll get that off in a second. So there we go, that just adds a little bit more bling on there as well. So good. So Caroline, go for it. I did it for you, Caroline. What do you think? Do you like? Imagine the word sparkle glittered. Yeah, stop it now. So, but yes, you could do this you could do some heat embossing on this one here. Again, you could probably, if you wanted to, the technique where you could then do, so you could stamp this here, and then especially if you're using the Stamparatus, obviously, because if you've done this technique, you're going to have your Stamparatus, you will be able to do this again and pop a silver embossing over the top of it, or some sparkle over the top. So there are different things you could really go to town on this type here. So there we have it. We have got card number 1, which should have been the only card I made, and then second card right there, which was just a random card, because I wanted to show you the slightly smaller version of it and using your different stamp sets. But this was the star of the show here. This needs a little bit more work, in my opinion. It needs a little bit more playing, but this is the one I'm really, really happy with. So using the Merriest Moments stamp set. So what do you think? Do you like? I hope so. So we're going to pick a winner soon. So Jay's just called the last call for names. We're going to do that, and we're going to draw a name any minute now. And Jay, hopefully Jay's got something to show you as well. We will see. Look at the mess. It's nice. Unlike me to be messy. I don't like it. Both cards are outstanding. Thank you very much, Neat. Thank you very much. Good. So, what's Jay going to show tonight?
Did you want me to copy? Actually, or you're okay?
That's fine.
I think I've got everyone's names.
Yeah. Last thing, is there any last minute names just coming in right there?
Joey, I think.
Yeah, I thought that might have been a new name.
Yes.
So Joey, is it Joey? I think yeah, Joey.
Yeah.
Is the last name to go on.
So yes, so this one I shared with the Creating Kindness Design Team blog hub, showcasing spotlight technique but doing triple spotlight, and two-step stamping makes it a lot easier because you just stamp the outline and then stamp the filler design. So check that out, and the rest of the Creating Kindness Design Team showcasing stamping techniques, and that's with the delicate dahlias. Hi Tommy!
Tommy wince at once in, not wince, once in on the act.
This one was last
Tommy.
Mondays. Using the 4-page fold that we shared a couple of lives ago, but using the beautifully penned Demonstrators paper, which is free from celebration, as well as the delicate dahlias, used with the medium daisy punch and the daisy punch there, which is quite nice. I quite like that because it added different interest onto there. Barry, I got another just a sneak peek of maybe something to come in the future. A fancy fold with, again, using, I was gonna create a video with the beautifully penned, but I use an older retired DSP, but again using the same technique with the dahlia and daisy, and this is a fancy fold, and it opens up and then it folds out like that.
So if you want, I can maybe, if Jay would allow me, I can then do that as a Fun Fold Friday one day, maybe. If Jay would allow me to.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I've got all of the measurements. That one was in inches, and this one was in metric. So it's slightly different, but I have increased the metric one to be more in line with. So this one is a bit more simple. So that one's simple. This one is.
Yes.
Stepped up.
And last one we're going to show you, which was my Fun Fold Friday this week.
Amazing. I love this one.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen the Fun Fold Friday, this is the, what did you call it?
I called it a pocket napkin fold.
Oh, because it is made out of.
It's made out of a whole 12 by 12 piece of paper, so a great way of you using up your designer series paper, and very sturdy, stands up like a card as well, and I created the third pocket so you can then use it as a.
In the first one you can put tags in it as well.
The second one, it comes out the bottom, which is why you created the third. So if you want to see how that was made, check out our Fun Fold Friday series on our channel.
Cool. Well done, Barry.
So good. So we are going to pick a winner right now. So let's go straight over to the feed as Tommy's sneaking in.
Right. Good luck, everyone. Fingers crossed. Connie, congratulations!
Hey, Connie.
Whoop, whoop.
Excellent, well done. Please message us, details on the screen, Barry and Jay at MitosuCrafts.com, and that card will be working its way over to you. So,
the blue one.
It is, yes.
Yes, congratulations.
Well done, Connie. Oh, let's just get rid of that there. Let's move over.
Amazing. I love the. I actually love the colors on it.
Yeah.
When you showed me the original, I didn't think it was fresh freesia. I thought you did a second generation of a pink. But that looks really nice with the fresh freesia.
Yeah, I'm really happy with that.
And I think someone commented I wouldn't have used the colors that you've used, but it works really well.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with the colours as well. I think I was quite inspired by going with non-traditional colours from the Whimsy and Wonder. Is it the Whimsy and Wonder designer series paper? Wonder and Whimsy or whatever it is. I can't remember what it is. That's very non-traditional, and I think that's why I use some of the fresh freesia with it.
Yeah.
Which I think was quite nice.
Yeah.
So well done. So if you'd like to win the second card, or we'll decide either that one there or the other one, which we've got with C, because we do have two of this one. Because this is what I should have been doing. So we will see.
Tommy!
So good, and Tommy is just saying, waving hello. So good. All right. So thank you very much for watching this.
Thank you.
So if you would like to purchase anything, links to our online shops can be found down below in the description as well. But we'll be back with you next Wednesday, same time, same place, with another video tutorial.
Yes. Take care, everyone.
So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you again soon. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.